Hello my dear students, good afternoon everybody. Can you all see and hear me clearly? Please let me know. Hello, good afternoon, good evening to all my dear legends. Yes, are you all here? Let me just check, okay? There will be a lag, so I'm just checking if... Just a second. Yes, okay. Alright. Okay, so welcome. We are going to continue with Plant Kingdom. Okay, we are going to learn. Hi Harun. Hello Nazim. Yes, we are going to learn about Bryophytes today. Okay, we are done with algae, so we will do Bryophytes today. Ready? Ready all of you? Yes, yes. So please do call your friends also. Okay, and make sure they also watch this. Right? Hello Jay Clinton 7. Good afternoon. Okay, so to everybody who is here for the first time, hi Zed, good to see you. So if you are here for the first time, my name is Ashima Joshi and I am a botany master teacher in Vedantu. So I do take botany for NEET students, and here, yes, I am here in Enlite also. Thank you Ram, hello, yes. Okay, so let's start with Bryophytes, okay. So what we'll do is we will learn, it's getting better Ram, thank you so much. Okay, you can feel there is still the voice change, but it's getting better. Okay, so we're going to start, right? We're going to start with Bryophytes. Yes, so second lesson or second lecture of Plant Kingdom, because we learned about biological classification and algae in the previous session. Okay, hi Lakshmi. Absolutely Lakshmi, if you want to learn about Bryophytes, anybody can. Okay, yes Nazim. Hi Chandramauli. Okay, so, you know what? Bryophytes all have a very, very common nickname. Okay, do you guys have nicknames? Do you guys have nicknames? Yes? Hi Palnisami. Do you guys have nicknames? The official name is there, but other than that, do you guys ever have nicknames? Mine is either Ashu or Ashi or something like that. Okay, it depends on my friends. They'll call me anything they like. But yes, do you guys also have nicknames? Okay, because Bryophytes also have a nickname apparently. You know? And the nickname of Bryophytes is amphibians. Okay, they are the amphibians of Plant Kingdom. Okay, they are the amphibians of Plant Kingdom. Okay, so when we were learning about algae, they were very simple organisms. Algae was very simple organisms. Okay, they did not have much of differentiation. They did not have much of, roots, leaves or stems or something like that. Okay, they were very small, thallus, colonial, filamentous type of organisms, or a lot of unicellular ones also. But when we are evolving algae into Bryophytes, it's going to be much better. Okay, yes, they are called as amphibians because they live on both water and on land. Okay, why? Because here they can live on land. It's not like they cannot. They can live on land, but they need to depend on water for fertilization. Okay, so here we will see some general characteristics and then we will learn about specific groups of Bryophytes. Okay, now these are some general characteristics, and this is a very specific image given taken from your NCERT. Okay, so they have thallus-like body. Thallus means it is not differentiated. Okay, they do not have a differentiation, not differentiated. Okay, into root, stem and leaves. Right? Then, rhizoids. They don't have roots, but instead of roots, they have rhizoids. They are primitive root-like structures, not even roots. Okay, the unicellular or multicellular that helps to attach to the substratum. The substratum can be soil. Okay, usually anything that is holding on the plants is called as a substratum. Right? So most of the time it can be soil. Now, Gametophyte, the main plant body is haploid. Okay, haploid means it has only one set of chromosomes. Okay, now we are all diploid organisms. In my cell, okay, every one of my cell, I will have two sets of chromosomes. Okay, one set from my father, because sperm is fusing with the egg. Okay, so one half will be from the father, the other half will be from the mother. Okay, so that is how we are all diploid organisms. Here, the main plant body that you see, okay, the Gametophyte is going to be haploid. Okay, and they produce gametes. Why is the name Gametophyte here? It's very important that you know why it's called as Gametophyte. What is this Gametophyte, Sporophyte? Okay, this entire headache of understanding that we will talk about. Okay, so a Gametophyte is any structure. Okay, it can be a plant body, or it can be a very small structure also, right? It can be any structure or plant. Yes, plant or structure that produces gametes. Okay, that produces gametes. Let's make it very simple. Okay, you guys tell me, what is this? What is this, people? What is this? This is a water bottle. Okay, why is it called as a water bottle? Because it's a container that can hold water or any liquid. Yes, the same way we call Gametophyte as a structure that can hold and release gametes. It's very simple. Okay, any structure or plant that can produce gametes is called as Gametophyte, just like a water bottle. Hi Aditya. Okay. Happy afternoon. Yes, so Gametophyte, you need to know the definition, because in some organisms you might see Gametophyte as a whole plant. Okay, but when we learn better organisms or higher organisms, you'll find that the Gametophyte or any plant or structure, it might not be that huge and having, you know, structures and all. Okay, it can be a smaller version, right? So that's why I said a plant or a structure. It can be as small as a few cells, structure also, pollen grain also. It can be that small as well. Yes, so let's talk about Gametophyte and also about Sporophyte, but yes. Okay, so here what are they telling you? They're telling that the Gametophyte, okay, here we are first learning about the plant body, and this plant body is your Gametophyte. Okay, this plant body which has the leaf-like structures, the stem-like structure, the rhizoids, okay, all of these together is called as a Gametophyte. This is Ganji. Yes, why not? Huh, Aditya? Okay, now you see the upper half part. Okay, this is of a moss plant. Okay, it's going to be a little more advanced, but we will learn about the primitive type also, right? So here you have the Sporophyte. Sporophyte is any structure or plant. Okay, Sporophyte is any plant or structure that produces spores. Yes, that produces spores. Very simple, no? It's very simple. Yes, Gametophyte is a structure that produces the gametes, and Sporophyte is a structure that produces spores. Okay, it's that easy. Just with the name itself, you should know the meaning of both. Okay, you should know the meaning of Gametophyte as well as Sporophyte. Okay, now you tell me, here they're showing you this half. Okay, from here till here, they're showing you that this is the Sporophyte. Okay, can you call it as a plant or do you call it as a structure? Tell me, do you call it, can you call this top half, bottom half ko yes. Yes, I look at it and I can say, okay, this is a plant. But if you look at the top half, can you call it a plant as such? Can you call it a whole plant? No. Okay, you can't, because it's not a whole plant. It's not independent. Okay, it can't live on its own. It's not an organism as a whole. Yes, it is only a structure. Isn't it? A structure which is attached to the plant. It's just a structure attached to the plant. Yes. So in this case, in the case of Bryophytes, the Sporophyte is only a structure attached to the Gametophyte. Okay. Anyways, we will learn a little more about it in depth. Okay. Now, Antheridium archegonium. We are still talking about the Gametophyte only. Okay. Here we are still talking about the Gametophyte or Gametophytic plant body. Okay. We are still talking about gametophytic plant body. Yes. So antheridium, okay, sounds male. Yes, antheridium is the structure, the organ that contains the anthrozoids or the male gametes. Okay, these are the male gametes. Right? And then we have archegonium, the female sex organ producing the egg or the female gamete. Okay, now where are these? Where do you find antheridium and archegonium? You find them on the gametophyte. It's very simple. Okay, so far we learned about gametophyte and sporophyte. Now we are learning about the gametophyte very specifically. Okay, spores are attached to gametophytes, not directly but indirectly. Chandramouli. Okay, indirectly yes. But we are talking about direct structures first and then I will tell you about the indirect structures. Okay, you don't have to confuse. Right, so here we have antheridium and archegonium, sex organs which are available or found on the gametophytic plant body. Hi Harun. Okay, now sporophyte, it's a multicellular structure that produces spores through meiosis. Okay, so reduction division happens here. They are dependent on the gametophyte. See, this is your, yes, they are dependent on the gametophyte. Yes, they will not be able to live on its own. They will not be able to find food on its own. They have to get their food from the gametophyte. You saw in the previous slide. Okay, you saw in the previous slide. You see, this is depending on the gametophyte. Okay, depending on the gametophyte. Yes, so that means the sporophyte will not be able to make food on its own. They have to get all the nutrients from the gametophyte. So we have the male gametophyte with antheridia, female gametophyte with archegonia. These are structures on Markantia. Okay, this is on Markantia, a plant called as Markantia. Okay, these are the original pictures. Spores different gamete, I'll tell you. It'll come up, Chandra. Okay. Now, this whole group of bryophytes are divided into 3 groups. Okay, but in your NCERT syllabus, we are learning only about 2 groups. Okay, Hepatopsida and Bryopsida. Right? For food or shelter. Both. Yes. Okay, we are not learning about Anthoceropsida because it's a little more complicated. Okay, we learned about Hepaticopsida. Why is it called as Hepaticopsida? Because they also have another word called as Liverworts. Okay, so that's why it's called as Hepaticopsida. And the other is Bryopsida or Meiosis. Okay, we learn it as Liverworts and Meiosis. 2 groups that we have to learn for NEET. Okay, there is the other third one which is called as Hornworts, Anthoceropsida. Okay, examples Anthoceros, Notothylus, Megaceros. You don't have to worry about it. But here, learn these. Okay, so Liverworts example Markantia, Rixia and Sperocarpus. Here in Meiosis we have example Funaria, Polytrichum and Sphagnum. All these 3 examples are there in your NCERT and you'll have to learn it. Okay, so we have Liverworts and we have Meiosis. Right? So bryophytes are divided into 3 groups, out of which 2 you will learn in detail. Okay. Now, we will start with Liverworts. Okay, we learn the general characteristics. I will, if time permits, also draw a life cycle for you so that things become very easy. Okay, so here we have the Liverworts grow in moist and shady places like banks of water bodies, marshy ground, damp soil, bark of trees, etc. Okay, anywhere where there is a little bit of moisture. Okay, they need a little bit of moisture or water somewhere. That is why they call as amphibians. Yes, so they are called as amphibians because they need moisture in order for the anthrozoids or the male gametes to reach the egg cell. Okay, they need water as a medium. Okay, they need water as a medium. So that is why they live in places like this. Cool? Now, their plant body is thalloid, which is dorsiventral. Okay. Now, dorsiventral means it can have, okay, a separate upper and lower side. Okay, they will have a separate upper and lower side. Okay, we are also dorsiventral organisms. We are also dorsiventral organisms because we have a front and a back. Isn't it? The same way, dorsiventral means an organism which will have a back and a front. They are different from each other. Okay, the front and back will be different from each other. That's why they call it dorsiventral. Okay, dorsy and ventral. Right? So, the organisms that belong to Hepatocopsida will be dorsiventral. Okay, I'll talk about Gemmy. Now, they are closely appressed to the substrate, means they are, they are prostately found. Okay, so we call it as prostrate arrangement on the soil. Okay, so if you have soil, if you have a layer of soil like this, you will see that this plant will grow very much attached to it. Okay, on the surface of the soil only it will be growing. Alright, so they have the prostrate growth on the surface of the soil. Right, some of the liverworts are leafy. Yes, sometimes it can have leaf-like structures. Such forms have tiny leaf-like appendages in 2 rows on the stem-like structures. Okay, you will have them in 2 rows. Okay, like this on stem-like structures. Right, these are some of the very general characteristics. Let's move ahead and learn much more. Okay, this is the picture. Okay, yes, they attach onto the soil surface and they prevent soil erosion. Correct, Chandra? Okay, so these are the pictures of Hepatocopsida, liverwort, okay, and Markantia. Okay, this is Markantia female thallus, this is Markantia male thallus. Right, so the female thallus will have the stalk. What is this archegonia for? Yes, this is the archegonia. Yes, this is the archegonia, which will contain, inside this only you will have the egg cell, right? This archegoniophore is the stalk, okay? Is a stalk that is holding the archegonia in place, okay? So there is a stalk, like how we have the umbrella and we have the stem of the umbrella, right? So we have the archegonia attached onto the plant body with the help of archegoniophore. Okay. Now you can see there are Gemma cups. I will talk about Gemma cups. This is the leaf-like structure, and you can see rhizoids growing. Okay, and they will grow like this only. They will grow with constant touch with the soil. Okay. Now the same for the male thallus. This is your antheridium. Yes, this is your antheridium, and the stalk is called as antheridiophore. Okay. Based on diagram, you have to look at it and find the difference. They have finger-like projections, okay, and here you don't have it. Here it is more like a disc-shaped structure or a plate-like structure. Okay, that is how we can differentiate. Hi, Vijay Soni. Okay, so the other part, the gametophyte, the other plant body part is same. The only difference is they have separate male and female. Okay, so that means we can call this plant, okay, because they have a separate female plant and a male plant, you can call it as a dioecious plant. Okay, this is a dioecious plant because they have separate male and female thallus. Yes, so you call them as dioecious. Okay, so they have separate male and female thallus, so we call it as dioecious. Okay. Now, reproduction. Okay, so we learned about the general characteristics, how it looks, how is a vegetative body look like, okay, and all the others. Now we'll talk about reproduction. Okay, we'll see whatever types of reproduction happens. Yes, unisexual also is used. Correct. Okay, asexual reproduction by fragmentation of thalli or by formation of gemmae. Yes. So if the thallus breaks into 2 pieces, both of them can grow into new organisms. Yes, so they can aram go for fragmentation. The other option is having Gemma cups. Okay, so we have Gemma cups, small cup-like structures, and inside the Gemma cup, okay, imagine it's invisible, I mean it's transparent, you will have some gemmae-like structures. Okay, so this is called as gemmae. Okay, inside Gemma cups. Now this is a very special character you will find in Markantia. Okay, this is a structure you will find in Markantia. Okay, how can we say they are multicellular? The researchers, they have taken it under the microscope and they've seen many cells. Okay, so that's how we can say it is multicellular. Unicellular will be even more smaller, no? Okay. See, what are we doing? We are learning things that have been researched by many other people. Yes? So, we've got to trust them. Right? Okay, so Gemma are specialized structures which develop in small cup-shaped receptacles on the thalli. They are called as Gemma cups, and Gemma, after detaching, so once they are mature, they will detach. Okay, they will just get removed from their parent, they'll fall onto the ground, and when these Gemma, okay, Gemma structures will fall onto the soil, it will germinate into a new plant. Okay, it will germinate into a new plant and form new individuals. This is how they do asexual reproduction, either by fragmentation or by introducing Gemma cups, okay, inside which they have Gemma. Okay, this is very simple. Now let's focus on sexual reproduction. Okay, here, this is the proper structure of Gemma cup inside which you have the Gemma. Okay, now you can see they are multicellular. Yes, HT status official. Okay, budding doesn't happen here. Right? So here you can see they are multicellular. There are many cells attached. This is your Gemma. Yeah? Okay. So moving ahead. The male and female organs associated with the sexual reproduction, okay, they can be produced on the same thalli or different thalli. This is something I already spoke about. Okay, in Markantia I told you they are on different thalli. Okay, and that time you call it as dioecious. Okay, it's called dioecious if they are present on two different thalli, separate male and female. Okay, on the same thalli, then you call it as monoecious. Yes, these words, it is important. Okay, it is important here also, it is important in 12th also. Yes, A Singh, I am teaching in AI Live as well. Okay, cool. So, Sporophyte is differentiated into food seta and capsule. Okay. Okay, Sporophyte is a structure. We saw that. Okay, if you look at the Sporophyte, yes. So, you have the foot which is inside, attached inside. Okay, I'll mark this as the foot. Okay, you can't actually see it in the picture. So, we have the foot, we have the seta and we have the capsule. Okay, three parts to the sporophytic structure. Okay, they are embryophytes. Yes, Chandramauli, they are embryophytes because they do have embryos. Okay, algae never had embryos. So, bryophytes say we do have embryos. Right. In the capsule, we have the haploid spores developed. Okay, so spores are formed inside sporophyte. But which part of the sporophyte? They have it formed in the capsule. Okay, the foot is just to attach into the gametophyte. Seta is there to hold. And at the end, at the tip, usually you have a capsule which will have all your haploid spores. Okay. Now, these spores will fall off on the floor and they will generate into or germinate into free living gametophytes. Okay, this is kind of the life cycle. I thought I'll draw the life cycle for you, okay, so that you guys can also draw along with me, and after that we will go to mosses. Yes, are you all ready? Ready to draw with me? Okay. Where is it? Okay, it's going to be very simple. Okay, I'm going to draw it very simple for you people. Okay, so yes, please do go ahead, smash the like button and then draw along with me. So we are going to start with the gametophytic plant body. Okay, the gametophyte is haploid. We all know in the beginning we learned that gametophyte is there, it is not differentiated. It has leaf-like structures, rhizoids and everything. Okay. So, not for these plants, HT status. Okay. Not for these plants. Sporophyte being independent will come up in pteridophytes. Okay. So, here we have the gametophyte. Okay. So in the case of liverworts, we can say that it has a separate female and male gametophyte. So I will write male and I will write female. Okay. The male gametophyte will obviously have antheridia. Okay. The female gametophyte will have the archegonia. Isn't it? Okay. Now these are sex organs which will produce the gametes. You see? So at the end, the gametophyte has the gametes. So they're going to release the gametes. Antheridia are going to release the antherozoids. Antherozoids are released, which are also haploid. Archegonia is going to have the egg. Okay. Archegonia is going to have the egg cell. Which is also haploid. Okay. Now, why are we going to talk about this? Because here sexual reproduction happens. Okay. We are not mentioning asexual reproduction here. We are mentioning only sexual reproduction here. So, this egg and the antherozoid is going to fuse and form the zygote, which is diploid. Okay. The zygote is going to be diploid. There is fusion happening. Yes, the male and the female gamete are going to fuse and they will form the zygote, which is diploid. Okay. No, Chandramouli. Right. So this is there. We have the zygote ready. This zygote is all going to divide, okay, and grow up and form the embryo. Okay. Now one thing you have to understand is this is all happening inside the archegonia. Yes, antheridia will release the antherozoids, the male gametes. They will swim through water, okay, and they will reach the egg. Where is the egg? Egg is not moving anywhere. Okay, egg is inside the archegonia, which is still attached to the female gametophyte. Yes, so the archegonia is still attached to the female gametophyte. So this fertilization, okay, and embryo development is happening inside the female gametophyte. Okay, all this process is happening inside the female gametophyte. Now this embryo is going to grow and start forming the sporophyte. Okay, so for sporophyte we will give another color. Okay, it's going to form the sporophyte. We learned that the sporophyte has three parts. It has food, seta and capsule. Okay, so the sporophyte is diploid. Yes, it is diploid. Mitosis or meiosis. There is no division happening here. Okay, the gamete का जो formation है, this gamete formation will be mitosis only. Okay, because this is haploid, that is also haploid. Here fusion happens, there is no division here. Here also it's going to be mitosis because the number is not changing. Okay, the ploidy is not changing. It's all going to be diploid. Embryo is also diploid. Okay, sporophyte is also diploid. Now inside the sporophyte, I told you we have three parts: food, seta, capsule. The capsule is going to have spores. Okay, so the cells inside will undergo meiosis and they will form spores. Okay, they will form spores. So here, this is a place where meiosis is going to take place. Okay, meiosis or reduction division is happening. That is why we have spores which are haploid. Okay, so you see from diploid we have gone back to being haploid. Right, now these spores will germinate and they will form the gametophytes. So here what happens? Here there is a little bit of germination happening. Okay, they germinate on the soil and they will form the gametophytes. Yes, this is very simple. Yes, digital diaries, you have already told me. Okay, here meiosis will happen. Meiosis will happen when they want to create haploid spores from a diploid plant body. Okay, so this is the diploid structure. Sporophyte is diploid. From there, when they want to create haploid structures, then they undergo meiosis. Okay, nowhere else we have meiosis. Here we have this thing, we have fertilization. That maybe I can mention. Okay, here we have fertilization happening. Okay, so we have fertilization here, we have meiosis happening here, we have germination happening here. Now on the basis of this, we can divide into two parts. We can divide this entire structure. Okay, we can divide it from fertilization to meiosis. Okay, this entire region we have all diploid organisms. Okay, yes, I know. Okay, so here we have all diploid organisms, and on top, okay, from spores onwards till they fertilize, here we have all haploid organisms. Okay, now learning this is important. Why? At the end of this chapter we have something called as alternation of generation. Okay, and that is what I'm going to introduce right now. So you see, we have male gametophyte, we have male and female gametophytes, we have sporophyte. Okay, this is how we have the life cycle. So every time we have a gametophyte, they have to first form the sporophyte. Sporophytes, they have to form the gametophyte, and then from the sporophyte. This cycle is going to go through every single time. Every single time it has to go through like this. Okay, so you see what is happening here. The gametophyte becomes a sporophyte. Okay, sporophyte forms the gametophyte. Gametophyte forms a sporophyte. So you see, it is alternating. Okay, it keeps alternating. Every generation it has to alternate. So this is called as alternation of generation. Okay, it's called as alternation of generation. Something very similar to this we will learn in moss also. Okay, right. In mosses are a little more advanced. Okay, they are more advanced. You can't see this, no? Okay, mosses are more advanced than liverworts. Okay, so here it involves both gametophytic phase and sporophytic phase, but gametophyte is the predominant one. Okay, so who is the king here? We do have gametophyte also, we have sporophyte also. Yes, the king or the dominant plant body or the dominant generation is the gametophyte. We all know na, gametophyte is the main plant body. The sporophyte is just attached to it. Okay, more elaborate. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the gametophyte is there as a plant. The sporophyte is just like, okay, you know what, I'll just take some food from you. Okay, I'll eat from you and then I will grow and form the spores. Yes, so the gametophytic phase is predominant. The same in bryophytes, same in liverworts also. Okay, the gametophytic phase has two stages. The first stage is a protonema stage and the second stage is leafy stage. Okay, so like I said, when it comes to mosses, it's a little more elaborate. Okay, it's a little more complicated. So you can see here, okay, in this I'm not going to draw and show you. So we have the sporangium, okay, or we have the capsule. Yes, we will call it as the capsule. So this color you can't see. Okay. Okay, so here we have the sporangium, okay, or the capsule. Very similar life cycle, okay. But you see, from the capsule we have the spores, okay, spores which are haploid. Can you see how the spores are germinating? Okay, we have a small spore. The spore will first germinate into forming a protonema, okay, and then the spore will later form branches of protonema, okay, which you can call as secondary protonema, and then it will form the leafy stage. This is the leafy stage. Okay, when they start producing the leaves, you call it as a leafy stage. So from the spore, they form filament-like structures called as protonema. Okay, so you can see protonema stage is the filamentous stage. Okay, you can write it in your NCERT. Okay, protonema is like filament coming out of the spore, and then they will grow, they will branch and form a leafy structure which is called as the leafy stage. Okay, they'll have a lot of leaf-like structures. And then what will happen? They'll produce, okay, so we have this is the gametophyte. The one that contains all the leaf is called as the gametophyte. They'll produce the gametes. Yes, we have the antheridium, we have the archegonium, same story. Okay, they'll fuse, fertilization ho jayega. Then after fertilization, it's there, it's happening inside the archegonium. Okay, the zygote is there, embryo is there, and they'll form the sporophyte. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know, Chandramouli. Yes, so here we have, the entire this thing is given again, but yeah. Anyways, the protonema stage develops directly from the spore. Okay, so immediately when the spore is germinating, okay, they will first form the protonema stage, right? It's a creeping green branched and filamentous stage. So here in the NCERT, this is how they have, they have characterized protonema. So learn it, learn these words, okay? They're creeping green branched and filamentous stage. The leafy stage develops from the secondary protonema, okay? So now what about the leafy stage? The leafy stage will have upright slender axis, okay? Axis is the middle stem. Axis means the main stem-like structure. Okay, so you have, this is your secondary protonema. Yes, this is your secondary protonema because it is branched now, and from there you see this is your leafy shoot. Okay, this is the leafy stage. You see how it is growing? Okay, it grows. It has a middle stem and it will start growing into leaves. Okay, hi Harish. It consists of upright slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. Okay? Right. So come on people, throw in some more likes. And like Harish, AD square, I'll tell Shimon sir. Okay. Now, the rhizoids. Let's talk about the gametophyte. Okay, so this is the secondary protonema growing into the leafy shoot. This is your gametophyte. Okay, this is your gametophyte. Yes. So it bears multicellular branched rhizoids, okay, like roots, which help the plant attach to the soil or the substratum. Okay, you can use any word. Leafy stage bears the sex organs. So that means that is your gametophyte. Okay, leafy stage is a gametophyte because they produce the sex organs. They will produce the gametes. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, any structure of plant that produces the gametes is called as a gametophyte. Any structure that contains the spores and releases the spores, they are called as a sporophyte. Okay, vegetative reproduction in mosses. Vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation. Here we have budding. Somebody asked me about budding when we were learning about liverworts. Okay, so budding happens here. Budding happens where? When we have the secondary protonema. Okay, they can form buds and they can form the leafy stage after that. Okay, so here we can have budding. Okay, here we can have budding. Right? Oh, I don't know, Chandra. I haven't weighed it yet. Anyways, the sex organs, that is the antheridia, which is your male. Okay, and archegonia, which is your female, are produced at the apex. Apex means, do you guys know what the meaning of apex is? Yes, apex means tip. Okay, apex means tip. So at the tip of the leafy shoots, we have the sex organs growing. Right? After fertilization, the zygote is formed, which develops into the sporophyte. Okay? Very similar to the life cycle we drew for liverworts. Very similar. Okay? Sporophyte has food seta capsule. Inside the capsule, you will have the, you will have the spores. Okay? Again, by meiosis, they will produce haploid spores and they will release them. Yes? In sporophyte itself is more elaborate than in the liverworts. So we have the haploid spores, okay, by meiosis. Okay, how do they produce the haploid spores? By meiosis. Yes, Gemma is also processed like budding? No, Gemma are specific structures. There we don't call it as budding. Okay, it's a completely different process. Budding happens in the protonema stage of moss, and Gemma cups are a different structure altogether when it comes in liverworts. Okay. Right, so development of spores involves meiosis, yes, that I've already mentioned. Okay, so it's going to be very similar. The life cycle is going to be very similar to that of our liverworts. Okay, but anyways, so it is important. Questions can come in talking about what is the ploidy of certain cells. Okay, they might give you a list saying, okay, this is the gametophyte, okay, there's a sporophyte, there is a Antheridia, there's Archegonia. Okay, they might ask you what is the ploidy of each of them. So you should be able to tell which one is haploid, which one is diploid. Yes, so once you know the life cycle, okay, once you understand the life cycle along with the ploidy of every stage, okay, I've written the ploidy at every stage, I guess, I hope, yeah, 2n here, yes, I've mentioned it at almost at every stage, so you will definitely be able to understand, okay, and on based on the knowledge you get from this ploidy, you can give the answers, okay, right. So now we will learn about economic importance. How can we make some money out of bryophytes? Okay, how can humans make money out of bryophytes? That we will learn. First thing, it's a source of fuel. Okay, now fuel does, now when the moment I say fuel, in your mind you must be thinking of petroleum and diesel and all of that. Yes, but here we are talking about anything that can catch fire. Okay, considering wood is also a fuel. Okay, if you burn wood, it will still give you fire, like how we have for campfires and everything. Okay, so this also can catch fire if dry, okay, sphagnum peat or dry moss, okay, can easily catch fire and can be used as a source of fuel, right? Now this is used in transshipment of living materials because of their water holding capacity. Okay, now when they are living or even dry moss, if you spray water to it, okay, it will hold the water, it will hold the moisture for a very long time. Okay, so that's why we use it for if you want to send some plants to somebody. Okay, so most of the time they do cover the entire structure with moss and they pack it and they send it like that, so that even if you water a little bit, it will stay for a longer time. Yes, so it has a higher water holding capacity and it can retain moisture. Okay, it can retain moisture. Now it's a source of food for many people. Okay, so moss provide food for herbaceous mammals, birds and other animals. So moss you can find growing in the what do you say, the floor of the forest. Okay, so there are many organisms which will come and eat it very happily, right, just like grass. Now along with lichens, okay, they are the first organisms to colonize rocks. Now, we all know that plants live on soil. Yes, because they have to spread their roots. Okay, they need to live lavishly. But there are certain plants that don't need soil as such. Okay, for them rocks are also fine. So, like lichen. Okay, lichen we will learn about in detail. But like lichen, you would have learned it in biological classification. So, along with lichen, moss also don't need a lot of soil. Okay, you can find them growing on rocks. Okay, so they, along with lichen, moss also colonized rocks. Okay, so lichen first. Okay, so lichen will colonize first and then moss also. Okay, so moss you can consider them as second. Okay, second to grow on rocks. Okay, they prevent soil erosion, yes, because they grow so much. Okay, thank you Kiran, thank you so much. Okay, so they grow so much on the soil that when there are water droplets from the rain, okay, they will splatter a lot. So at that time the topsoil can get eroded. So when you have the entire forest floor or any entire area of land covered with moss, okay, there will not be any soil erosion. Yes, absolutely, HT statusovicial. Okay, lichen is algae plus fungi. Okay, so mosses form dense mat on the soil and they will prevent soil erosion. Now, they decompose rock, making the substrate suitable for the growth of higher plants. How do they decompose rock? Okay, they will do that by a process called as weathering. Have you guys ever heard about the process called as weathering? Weathering of rocks. In geography, have you heard about the process called as weathering of rocks? Of rocks to make soil. Yes or no? Have you guys heard about it? Yes. Now this weathering of rocks is a long process. It does not happen very easily. Okay, so weathering of rocks happen when there is continuous water flowing, or there are some acids, or really harsh chemicals secreted from the plants. Yes, they do break they break the rocks. Okay, big pieces of rocks will be broken down into smaller pieces, and then they'll form sand or soil or whatever. Okay, so for that also, these mosses, they secrete out a lot of these chemical compounds that can break down rocks. Okay, yes, but this is a very time taking process. It doesn't happen easily. Okay, so you see, it's just like NEET. It's a big huge, imagine NEET is like a big huge rock in front of you. Okay, all you have to do is weather it slowly, practice questions, revise the concept slowly, the rocks will break, okay, and weather down to form the soil. The same way NEET exam was also like that. Okay, it's a huge exam, too much of portions, a lot of syllabus, but slowly in the span of a year or 2 years you can break it down. Okay, see, Bryophytes are giving you life lessons also, right? Yes, they decompose the rocks and plants may grow on them. Perfect. Okay, right. Now, if you want to learn much more about all of this, okay, with much better notes and much better practice of mock tests, or test series, assignments, okay, learning it like a course is different from learning it on YouTube. Yes, so if you want that kind of an experience, I would suggest you try out Vedantu, okay, because you can see the nation's best teachers are here, okay, are here to teach you, right? They're all there every day working to teach students to break that big rock in front of us. Yes, so we have different types of courses. We have Pro Lite, we have Live Pro, and Pro Classic also, okay, but Pro Lite is your AI courses. Somebody was asking me if I take AI. Yes, I also do take AI. So these are scheduled classes. You find the class recordings. That's the best part. That's the best part about being born in this era. Okay, when I used to study, we never used to have recordings. So whatever notes we make in the class, that's it. Okay, and nothing else. Hi Srila Rajesh. Okay, yes Gayatri. In class doubt, yes. So even if the master teacher is recorded, okay, because in AI Live the master teachers are not live, but in the Live Pro, yes, teachers are live. Okay, so there you can talk to the teachers, master teachers. Here you cannot talk to the master teachers, but we do have class teachers. Okay, we do have class teachers who will help you with whatever doubts you have throughout the session live. Okay, you can get the feedback, interaction will be there, class notes will be given to you, assignments, tests, revision, test series. Okay, as we go towards the end, we also have the test series given to you, okay, part and full test. So this is like an entire package. Now where do you go and get this? Okay, when you click the link below my description, okay, in the description box, you can go to this page where they're talking about everything. Okay, we have the AI Live, like I said, Pro Lite and Pro Classic is there. Okay, now if you use the code ASJE Pro, now if you take the link directly from this video, it will be already applied. Okay, coupon is already applied. If you are going through the Vedantu website, you have an option of applying the code. You can do that also. Okay, because definitely, okay, definitely you will get a discount. Okay, so this is only 14,850. Okay, if you can't manage to afford the higher prices, you can go for AI Live. Okay, it's very interesting. It has a lot of activities and fun stuff, right? So definitely full syllabus. Access will be there till 2024. That is your NEET. Till the time you write NEET, all your replays will be there. All your notes will be there online. All your tests will be there. Okay, if you want to check, okay, you know what, the beginning tests and all I didn't study. Okay, I was just SEE writing the test, so I want to check those. So you can check that also. Okay, so it's all available for you. You have the PDFs also. Okay, so if you're taking AI Live, you get the Tatvaga PDF. Okay, if you go for live courses, they'll send the hard copy to you. Otherwise, you have the PDFs. Okay, and yes, assignments. Too many assignments. Okay, so you can have a lot of fun practicing questions. Like I said, it's not an easy job. Learning just the concept is not going to work. You've got to apply that concept also into questions. So that is why that is also important. Okay, so here again, the coupon code is ASJE Pro because it is NLEET channel. Okay, so this is your initial price. Definitely after discount, it has come down to 14,850. If you want to give it a try, go ahead. This is for AI Live. I'm repeating. Okay. it has already been given HT status. I think the timing will change according to your batches. If you have joined the 8th August batch, the timetable was given to you. Okay, just check it. In some video, we've done it already. Okay. Yes. And if you guys are new to this channel, if you feel that, okay, it's better than learning it in Hindi, or if it's better than learning it in other languages, if you want you and your friends to learn, okay, and prepare for JEE and NEET in English, do subscribe our channel, okay, do like the videos and share it with your friends, okay, so that we can also keep working ahead, okay. Like other teachers always say, that this is not, you are seeing only the teacher here, okay, there are a lot of people working behind it for you people. Yes, so keep trying. Okay. Okay, Chandra. Next year will be NEET or CUET. We don't know. See, that was just an idea, no? Released. Okay. And we have had videos also on it. So watch the videos. They have not said anything, confirmed anything. So we'll see. Okay. Don't worry about that. Whatever it is, you have to study what you have to study. Okay. So just continue preparing. Okay. Whatever name the exam comes in, we will take care of it. Okay, see, the syllabus is not going to change, people. What you have to for chemistry, what you have for physics, what you have for biology is going to remain the same. So what do you have to do right now? Just continue preparing for the exam. Okay, let it come in the name of NEET, let it come in the name of CUET.